Okay, I think we are live. So, good morning, America. Good evening, India. This is Shyam Shankaran, founding volunteer, Bharat Ki Awas. Today, I am on my individual capacity. I'm not representing Congress because we are going to ask here, listen to very important question from civil society. A greater representative of civil society, who else can it be? It can be none other than our MG Devasahayam, former IAS officer. He is part of Citizens Commission on Election. He drives it along with a lot of other top leaders of civil society, along with Justice Lokur and many other prolific leaders. So they are seriously concerned. They feel betrayed by Indian opposition. It's not just Indian National Congress, Indian opposition, India Alliance, etc. Whether Indian opposition is alive in this particular matter to protect election integrity. They have been asking how to bring back ballot and also how we can ban EVM with consistent reports since 2019 election. So let us hear from MG Devasahayam. Today's thinking, we have discussed this topic even a couple of other times along with Devasahayam Mehmood Pracha. Mehmood Pracha and Sam also will be joining shortly. Today's theme is what are the call to action for civil society? How they can get Indian National Congress and the other India Alliance to get to action is what Devasahayamji is going to talk. I'll give the mic to Devasahayamji. Thanks for taking time out for us, Devasahayamji.
Thank you, Shan, for this opportunity. And the subject that you selected is fairly provocative. Is India's opposition alive? And that question is not without substance. It has tremendous substance. That's the reason why I agreed also, because I am now speaking from personal experience. No theory whatsoever. Let's not get into democracy theories. Let's not get into opposition theories, ruling party theories. All theories are apart. I am speaking purely from personal experience of my interaction in civil society and with political parties. The last over 5 years, about 5 to 6 years. Now, let me briefly mention the background before I come to the hardcore. See, we as a group of former civil servants and also representing civil society have been keeping a close watch of the electoral process in India. Because as civil servants, we have conducted elections through thick and thin, and we have a fair idea what is the electoral process. And we have been keeping a close watch, particularly ever since we shifted to electronic voting machine. I don't want to go back too much. 2004, the electronic voting machines were introduced. Okay, there was not much of a controversy. 2009, there was a major controversy, and BJP took it up in all earnestness. 2009, as soon as the election was over, they were expected to win the election, and they really raised hell. Even people like Advani got involved, Subramanian Swamy got involved, and Narasimha Rao, who is a member of parliament, got involved. So many people got involved, and they used to drag me in also because I had initiated something in the Tamil Nadu at that time, Forum for Electoral Integrity, fighting against money power and selling and buying of votes. I was quite involved with the electoral process. I had not taken up the EVM issue. But they were in touch with me. We were consulting. Technical experts came from USA, from all over the country. They held a lot of meetings. They sensitized the the civil society, and then what they did was that Subramanian Swamy approached the court. He went to the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court gave a negative order. It expressed serious doubts about the EVM, but said, I can't give you any relief, and left it at that. So Subramanian Swamy went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, at that time, the German Constitutional Court judgment was there, striking down EVMs as unconstitutional because these are not adhering to the democracy principles. That the voter should have the knowledge that her vote is cast as intended, recorded as cast, and counted as recorded. That democracy principle was totally absent in EVM. We did not go into the technical aspect at all. Went into the only democracy principles. So when Supreme Court issued the notice to the Election Commission of India, the Chief Election Commissioner at that time was a very good friend of mine, and he was a sincere soul. He discussed with people like us. He discussed with the political parties. Then he was told there is a machinery called VVPAT, Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail, which can satisfy the purpose. Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail. So they went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, yes, go ahead. Verification and auditability is important. So they gave the orders, but 2014 election, it was not introduced. Okay, nobody had much say. 2014 situation was different. Between 2014, 2016 and 2019, certain mysterious things happened in Election Commission of India. I know it because we have certain information sources. I don't want to mention names because in a public forum, I would not like to mention names, but I have mentioned names in certain forum. To sabotage the VVPAT. And VVPAT was successfully sabotaged in 2019 election. So, anticipating that, we tried to take some preventive action. We went to the Supreme Court, but we did not get any relief, except saying that instead of one per assembly constituency, you count to 5 booths. That was no relief at all. Anyway, I'm not going to detail. I can write books on this, actually. So 2019 election took place. We have been closely observing because Supreme Court said we did not have the time to go into the integrity of the EVM in 2019, Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi. So we were observing and we found the 2019 400 BC shuru ho gaya tha. The VVPAT was sabotaged. There was no end-to-end verification. They refused to count the VVPAT slips because VVPAT slips were not being counted. The introducing a VVPAT slip became meaningless. So we formed a CCE, Citizen Commission on Election, brought in the best experts from the world, international experts, and gave out clear findings. Findings clearly said because there is no end-to-end verifiability, these EVM, VVPAT system as being done are totally not fit for democratic election. And they gave certain suggestions, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they said if these are not done, we have to go back to the paper ballot. Very clearly. The expert opinion is absolutely clear. So we then brought out a book. We tried to do whatever little on civil society, and then we thought civil society alone cannot do because we don't have critical mass. Political parties must do it. That is now I am coming to the main subject. Why this title has been now, the political parties, are they alive? We went to the political parties. There was some response. It was coordinated by Mr. Digvijay Singh, former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and we had a conclave. In 2022, we had a very successful conclave, civil society, political parties conclave, very well reported in the media. Resolution was passed, 10 resolutions were passed. They will do that, do that. That's all. Nothing happened after that. So since 2022, the struggle started. We have been virtually begging the political parties to take up the integrity of the EVM as a big issue and ensure that the proper verification takes place, VVPATs are being put to proper use. Kept on repeatedly telling them again and again and again, but nothing happened. Anyway, now coming to 2023, this India Alliance was formed. Earlier there was no formal opposition group. India Alliance was formed. From day one of India Alliance being formed, we have been telling them, see, there are 2 factors that determine people's mandate. One is the way election is conducted. The second is opposition unity index. As I said, they got 2014 and 2019, there was no proper opposition unity. So BJP won. Now you have brought over the opposition unity. There are every chance of people giving you the mandate, because we know the people of India, they always go for change. And the rot that has been taking place in the country, 75-80% people do not like the rot, in spite of all the rotten publicity and the kind of media that we have in this country. People don't like, we have faith in the people. But see to it that elections are being held in a free and fair manner. Kept on repeating. It was taken up at various levels. Discussions were held. They said they will do that, but never did anything. They did not even write a letter to the Election Commission. So when the election of 2024 took place, it took place like it used to take place 10, 20 years earlier. VVPAT was not used. EVM, only EVM counting was there, and EVM counting was there, and there was no verifiability or auditing. That was zero, absent. Our expert opinion told us very clearly that if this verifiability is not, I used to ask this question to the top experts, technical experts. He said, if this verifiability is not there, what will happen? The answer is very simple. So there will be spurious injection of votes, period. You don't know how they do it, but there can be spurious injection of votes. They are denying verifiability. They are denying counting of VVPAT only with the purpose of committing fraud by spurious injection of votes. Anyway, opposition party did nothing. The election took place, counting place, results came. Opposition party did nothing. They said, we are very happy of the result. We are very happy of the result. But we did not stop there. Election Commission's behavior was very closely scrutinized. They were refusing to give absolute numbers. That is a big fraud. That's the root cause of spurious injection of votes. Percentage they were telling. And this percentage kept on increasing. 8%, 10%, 12%. After the polling is over. They refused to give. They refused to give Form 17C. All these were clear indications that spurious injection of vote is taking place and elections are being manipulated. Period. People's mandate is not being carried out. It is being stolen. So some of us sat together, used the Election Commission numbers and came out with a report. Very clear report. VFD in July itself the report came. And there we said 79 constituencies, we are telling you there is every chance of the people's mandate has been stolen. 79 constituencies. Gave it to these parties, did nothing. They did nothing. Then we issued a notice to the Election Commission of India. Civil society took the risk of issuing a formal notice to the Election Commission of India. This formal notice was also sent to the political parties. Baba, please follow it up. We have put it down in writing. They are refusing to recognize us. They are refusing to even acknowledge us. Political parties, at least they will acknowledge. They will give you no, they did not ask questions. Now it is more than 4 to 5 months. Now, at least 2014, 2019 election, okay, you did not have the majority. You did not have a proper leader of the opposition. Now we have 240 odd MPs, 43, 44% of the parliament. We have a formal recognized leader of the opposition. Why are you not asking question? That is where we kept on knocking their door, again. They said they will do it, but then they lost the question. So what happened was, after a certain time, you start suspecting. There is something fishy. It is vital to the interest of democracy, vital to the survival of these political parties, and why are they not asking these questions? Then Haryana came. I'll finish my first phase and go to the second phase. Haryana election came. Clearly there was manipulation. 3 times they changed the voting numbers and percentages. We immediately, that next morning itself, came out with the report. And instead of raising this question, why there is spurious injection of vote, why there is an 8% spike of votes after the polling is over, they asked a totally immature question. Oh, battery ka 98%. That is an irrelevant question. That is only a factor, The main question is, why has the votes polled? You are not given the numbers. Constituency wise number they did not give constituency number. They gave only district wise number, and they kept on changing it. And finally, suddenly we found the whole election ulta sida ho gaya, and these people started, and they did not even ask question. Now we kept on knocking, as if, and repeatedly some regional parties also. I was mostly concentrating with the Indian National Congress, but they were talking to the other parties also in Maharashtra and other places. But zero response, zero question. Then we started sitting together and analyzing it. Baat kya hai? That is when we raised the suspicion of sleeping cells. Sleeping cells of RSS that is penetrated into these political parties, more importantly, Indian National Congress. Now, Mehmood Pracha has openly come out and given the names. I am not giving names, but the suspicion is there. Why? I am coming to that part now. Now, if something happens one time, it is accident. If it happens second time, it is coincidence. If it happens the third time, it is deliberate. There's something fishy. What happened the first time? Now, in 2023, sometime towards November, December, the entire criminal law was changed. The earlier law was thrown out and new set of law was brought in. It was very draconian, absolutely draconian. It has killed democracy. And opposition parties did not raise much of an issue. Chidambaram was given charge. Chidambaram is the most autocratic man. Worse than RSS fellows. I know him. He was the one who came out with all draconian laws. And they did not raise any objection that time. Even when they tried to raise objection in the parliament, 146 MPs were thrown out. They were removed from parliament and the law was passed. It was to come into operation on 1st of July this year, after the new parliament was passed, with about 240 members sitting there. We have been pleading. Civil society, constitutional contact group, our lawyers, this, that. Please ask them to postpone. Let us have a discussion. People have given fresh mandate. Political parties didn't take up this issue at all. Didn't take up. And these laws have come into force. And today India is not a democracy. It's more of an autocracy. Legal autocracy. Number one, they did not raise. That is a purely RSS agenda. Okay. Coming to the next one. Suddenly, there's a total ban of civil servants being part of RSS. RSS is a complete political organization and is an anti-national organization, anti-constitutional organization, Hindutva, and Rule 5 of the Civil Service Rule clearly says nobody can be a member of such a group. It's bad. Suddenly they lifted it. They allowed every civil servant to be a member of the RSS. Today, IAS officer can be a member of the RSS, can participate in shakas, he can participate in Hindutva movement, he can participate in all kind of hate speech and hate movement, and still be the district magistrate, be the secretary, be the IPS officer. I mean, they just one fine morning, they withdrew that ban, and they said anybody can become member, and civil society shouted. We were in agony. We opposed it tooth and nail, but political parties didn't lift a finger. Political parties didn't lift a finger. This is the second one, RSS. Third is the election one. In spite of us giving them a report, the election has been manipulated, and democracy is in serious danger. They have not taken this issue at all. What for do we need opposition? रोटी खाने के लिए वो जलेबी खाने के लिए enjoy the power, spending taxpayers' money, enjoying life. Member of parliament, this thing. What is this? Enjoying all the privileges. What for are they? Do they are of any use to democracy? Are they of any use to the mandate of the people? See, the question is, as it is, political system is very, very highly defective. I have been telling, and everyone knows, India is not a political party-based kind of democracy. It's a partyless democracy. Political parties came into existence and they have grabbed everything. They are rogue elements actually. As it is, they are rogue elements. They have no law, they have no rule, nothing. Everybody can get anywhere, anybody. RSS fellows, how many RSS people are in Congress party, I do not know. How many Congress people are there in BJP, I do not know. There is no ideology. There's no kind of anything. And they say they are defending democracy. Your constitution cannot be defended just by carrying a small book. That's a tamasha. Constitution can be defended only by defending the values, constitutional scheme of things. So now civil society has come to the conclusion that this opposition setup that we have is of utterly no use. They are there only to enjoy life, and as I said, spoils, pick up the spoils. जो ruling party छोड़ के जाएगा उसको लेके खा जाएंगे and feel very happy about it. मिल गया भाई, रोटी मिल गया, फल मिल गया. But there is no democracy. World's largest democracy. So unfortunately, it is depending upon the political parties because they only contest elections. They only go to parliament. They only go to assembly. They only form government. They only make policies. Unfortunately, actually left to Mahatma Gandhi, Jayaprakash Narayan, or the tall leaders, they would have bound up all these political parties by now. But unfortunately, they are there. So I think we are starting this debate now. I am very happy this forum has started this debate. This debate must spread like wildfire. See, there are so many issues. You keep on talking every issue. You are only spreading you are only distributing the energy. And wailing. Oh, liberty nahi hai, freedom is not there, this is not there, that's not there. Yeah, nothing will be there as long as there is a fascist government. When there is no opposition. This is the core factor. Nobody is interested. They only all got together. RTA ka ye ho gaya. Ye to ho jayega. Do you think a government elected like this by manipulating the EVM, are they bothered about the wailing of the people? In fact, they will be happy about it. So I would like to conclude here. I would like to listen to other people express their views and also ask questions. Unless civil society takes on the job, come together. Unfortunately, to prevent this only, this government has broken the civil society. Civil society को तो खत्म कर दिया. All the funding sources have been finished off. FCRA is finished off. And whatever is left, they like Sai Baba, they did place him under arrest and put them behind bars, and eventually the poor fellow, he dies in his 50s. वो तो civil society को भी खत्म कर दिया. What is left now? Democracy, world's largest democracy, mother of democracy. When you're fun of the whole thing. So my appeal is, unless we wake up now, people like us, I am 80 plus. Sam is also 80 plus. I don't know how many years we are going to live. But the question is, we are leaving out a message. It is for the young people. Don't be too addicted to these gadgets and your A and BA, CA, which I don't understand. If there is no democracy, there is no nation. Simple as that. I still remember Amartya Sen's quote, being a student of economics. He said, if India did not have democracy, half of India people would have died of hunger, of famine. Even now, children are dying. Worst nutrition. Every parameters in the world, in Human Development Index, we are the worst. We are worse than Sub-Sahara. In last 10 years, this happened. Because they know people's concern of see, we can keep on coming back to power, and opposition is not going to question. So with this, I would like to leave out any discussion, any questions I am willing to answer. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Devasahayam ji. I want to, in fact, invite Sam Pitroda to join us, give a commentary. Before that, I want to wish him a happy birthday. Sam.
Oh,
Thank you, Sean.
Happy birthday,
birthday.
sir.
Thank you. Not many people know that I have two birthdays. I have a birthday on my passport, and this is the real birthday.
Okay.
So I enter 83 now.
Okay.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank
You
you,
are,
everybody.
you are at par with me now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
First
may
of
you
all, my
remain.
apology for being a little late. I was on a call on Global Gandhi, and this call went on for about 2 hours. We had some very interesting Gandhians from all over the world talking about how to take Gandhi global. So we have created a website, a platform for all global Gandhian institutions to come together to collaborate, cooperate, co-create, and communicate. So if there is an event in South Africa, that event could go global. Today, all these institutions are not really well connected. I've been very concerned about Gandhian institutions in India because BJP government has basically taken over these institutions, killed some, transformed others. I know what happened with the Gujarat Vidyapit. I've been deeply involved in it. I know what they are doing to Gandhi Ashram. And I'm really worried that one by one, all Gandhian institutions are going to be basically saffronized in their own little way. Coming back to today's conversation, I want to compliment my friend, our speaker today, Devasahayam. He has been on this as a missionary for a long time. I respect him a great deal for tenacity, for his focus, and the contribution he has made to this whole concern from the civil society for elections to be fair and free. He's not fighting EVM as a machine. He's not talking about software and chip and how to intervene and how to manipulate. He's really talking about much broader issue. I got to know about his work 3 years ago and the kind of deep insight he and his colleagues, including some professors from IIT, technical experts have, is remarkable. Unfortunately, many in India have not paid the attention they deserve. So every little bit I could do as a concerned citizen to bring their message to public, I want to do it. I see that as a duty for all of us to put on table not only their view, but their report and discuss it. Their report very clearly outlines all the details and concerns from the viewpoint of not only civil society, but also an average voter. The key issue is are you really counting the vote I'm casting? And that's where it becomes murky. You show me receipt for 7 seconds, you drop something else, you don't give me receipt in my hand, you don't count 100% of the receipt in the name of it'll take more time. And everybody sort of buys into this idea. And there isn't enough resistance, even from political parties, for whatever reason. I've tried to do my best to explain to people, but apparently people don't think deep enough to understand the importance of it. Because immediately when you say something, they'll say, but you won that election. What about that? So it gets into tutu meme. And political parties are not really aligned to raise their collective voice and say it is not about this election or that election. It is about fundamentals, as Devasahayam said, related to democracy. It is about my fundamental right to make sure that my vote is properly handled. So I think this debate is not over. We started on this program almost a couple of years ago with a conversation on EVM. It was a little bit technical then, and I think it got picked up by press, social media, and others. But then it died. And what happened in Haryana election, what happened in the national election is of concern to me. I don't have answers, but I have a lot of questions. And it is the responsibility of the Election Commission to provide answers and not just walk away from it, not hide under their authority or under courts. As citizens, we demand explanation on a lot of these things, whether it is battery life was 90%, more votes were shown. There are all kinds of details. I'm not very comfortable with the election process and the results. We have 2 more elections coming up, Jharkhand and Maharashtra, and I'm equally worried. You can win if they want you to win. If they don't want you to win, you can never win. Then why spend all this time and effort in campaigning and giving big lectures and spending crores and crores of rupees? Might as well sit home and decide. That's one view. Other view is to keep fighting. And that's what civil society has been doing. So I support their effort. It has nothing to do with this party or that party. It has a lot to do with how I feel as a voter, how I feel as a senior citizen, and how I want young people to understand this and make sure that it becomes their agenda. And at various levels, we have young people coming out and questioning this. So I'm delighted that we could start this discussion today. It is an ongoing conversation. It is not going to end quickly, but I think as soon as the Maharashtra result comes, it will again get hot because I see writing on the wall. Okay. Maharashtra is very important because it is the financial capital of the country, Mumbai. A lot of money is controlled from there, and I don't think anybody would like to let go of Maharashtra. And it will be reflected in the manipulations in different ways. So with this, I want to again thank Sean and Priyambada for this weekly regular interactions. We have lots of things to talk about, and Gandhi is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And I'm very concerned that this government has really systematically attacked Gandhi's legacy at many Gandhian institutions by putting RSS people on the board, by capturing Gujarat Vidyapith, by sort of making Gandhi Ashram more of a tourist attraction with, all kinds of modifications. And it just doesn't feel Gandhian. And I worry about it. So with this, let's open up for a broader conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I want to start with the Bilal, one of our good friend and an active community leader in the sense with Sam interactions. He's a technocrat, so he has been following EVM conversations. So, Bilal, as a civil society participant, what do you think as a call to action? So, people like Devasahayam ji who have been hand holding this fight for a long time are kind of frustrated, or they feel even betrayed. In fact, according to even Devasayam's own word. So, what do you think as a young technocrat? What do you think as an Indian voter? What do you think as a call to action?
Well, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah. So to explain that, let me tell you the story about how I got into this group as a concerned citizen as well. So I was sitting with some Congress people, and I won't name anyone. They are kind of middle-level people, and they were discussing about various issues, the Lok Sabha election especially. And when my turn came up and I talked about EVM, they were very aggressive. Like, don't even talk about this subject at all. Like, it's not just my opinion is wrong or right. It's more like they don't want to talk about this thing. So I waited, and then until a lady, I sort of pressurized her, like, what is the matter? Like, you don't even want to talk about this subject. What is the matter? And she said that, at so-and-so meeting, they, brought this up, and they were very rebuked in a very bad way. Since then, everyone doesn't talk about this subject at all. So I then asked them that, okay, who will you listen to about this subject? If not me, I'm a nobody. I'm nobody in the Congress. You might not trust me. So they unanimously said, and I say this very honestly, they said, Sam Pitroda, sir, that they will listen to Sam Pitroda because he's an expert in this field, and his allegiance to the party has been known for years and years. There is no question about it. This was everyone talking about that. So I got into this group in that way. What I'm trying to say is there are psychological issues within the party as well. That there is a very strong sense of denial. There was a very strong sense of denial. And only until Rahul Gandhi on March 16th, I remember clearly, he talked about EVM in a very clear manner. And I went back to this Twitter space and I asked, like, what do you think about all this topic now? Now they were very open about it. So that sense of, psychological thing, denial got diluted a bit. But there is still a very strong denial about how much is the extent of this manipulation. There is a lot of guesswork, like, battery, all this talk about battery and this, all that, and maybe there are 3-5%, that's much. And if we bring all the people to come to vote, and then all their manipulation won't work and all that. There is a lot of guesswork, not scientific thinking. When you do a proper audit of the machine or the process itself, not even the machine, but as Devasahayam sir has pointed out many times, the process itself, if you audit it properly, what is working and what is not working, what is proper, you will see that there are glaring issues. And some of them are like really stuck in some nostalgia, like maybe the time of TN session when, people didn't have to do much. They had to just, they trusted ECI that they will do their work in a very neutral manner and everything will be taken care of, and they will just have to do the groundwork. They're still stuck in, the elections of 1980s or 1990s. They haven't come up to the 2024 election. Now, there are many countries out there. I won't name anyone, but there are many countries out there who are very interested in affecting our elections in a way that benefits them. And this is a global scenario, not just with our country, but many countries. So there is in other parties as well. After March 16th, I noticed that Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav very famously came out that about this subject of EVMs and all that, that he will not believe it or whatever. There was a change. There was a very positive change after that, but there's still some denial. I think that is the issue. This question came up in the last meeting, I think, few weeks back as well, that why, even though Sir has talked to Rahul Gandhi and some senior leaders as well, why they are so, they say on their, my assessment is this, that they say, okay, we believe you and all that, and this is a very important issue. But in their hearts, they are still in denial that, oh, maybe it's 3 or 5% of manipulation and not more than that, 25% or 40%. And like Arvind Kejriwal famously pointed out in the Chandigarh mayor poll thing, that 6 votes out of 36 is roughly 22% of manipulation. So that there is figurative statistics also there, that they tried hypothetically 20% of manipulation, right? So also one of the things I noticed, that all this kind of manipulation requires a very well organized, like Sir was just saying, that there is a very well organized attack, very well organized, all the systematically, all the organizations. Even TIS, very recently there are things being said about how TIS is working these days. And this expertise didn't exist in BJP. This exists in foreign countries, and they have this a very strong expertise in looting different countries, different African countries. So the big question on the wall is, why do we, after knowing that there are many puppet governments in African countries, why do we not think that this could be attempted in India by some foreign powers? And to stop that manipulation, we have to have a very strong audit system in India, a very transparent system in India to look into every aspect of the the election process. Just to give you a quick example, I looked into Iraq elections very recently, 2018 elections, and very recent election a few months ago. In 2018, a lot of organizations in Iraq itself, they raised issues about their election. Apparently, they got their machines from Miru Systems. There's a company called Miru Systems from South Korea that provides these machines, right? So initially, their own election commission denied that there is the same language that we hear in India, that they denied, oh, nothing is wrong, everything is okay, you have to trust us, and just trust us, bro, and that the kind of mentality. But after a lot of pressure, there was a committee that was organized. It was called Iraq's Board of Supreme Audit. And they found out that there was not only manipulation in the machines itself, but there was financial fraud involved in the procurement of those machines as well. And something very similar to India, what was happening over there was, they also initially claimed in front of their court that these machines are being made in India. See the language. There is a fine print. They said that their machines are being made in Iraq, right? But actually, those machines were only assembled in Iraq, and like our machines are being assembled in India by BAIL and ECIL, apparently. But the real components are coming from outside, right? So the actual manufacturing, the act of manufacturing is happening outside. And because we don't have those semiconductor capacity in India. And then those components are procured from outside, and those components are brought in India and then assembled. And then they do a technical lie in front of the court that these machines are being made in India. Yeah, that's technically true and false as well at the same time. So some of these lawyers couldn't ask that hard questions to them.
No, may I intervene for a minute, because
Yes, sir.
all these have been addressed by our expert. You read the report, and we were expecting it. And if you look at the experts, they are the best in the world. See, the group, experts assembled not only computer hardware, computer software, statistics, cyber security, election management, such a comprehensive expert. The problem is, all this what you're saying is right. In India, election commission has become a fraud post 2016, 2017. But the election commission is being protected by the government, by the Supreme Court, by the media, now even the opposition. See, the question is, election commission has become a rogue institution now. Nobody is questioning them. Technical expertise, there is no shortage. There is no problem at all. We are not talking about the machine per se, as Sam correctly said. We are only talking about the process. VVPAT has been successfully sabotaged. That see, I left it out there. Subramanian Swamy got this order from the Supreme Court, and Election Commission introduced VVPAT. I know the whole background because Qureshi has been interacting with me regularly. Even now, we interact sometimes. He gave me the complete background. VVPAT was brought in, and the rule was amended, saying that the slip is real vote. It's not the electronic memory. But from 2017 onwards, the election commission was completely sabotaged. It was captured, and they had made it into a kind of what do you call that? They converted the VVPAT into an ordinary kind of a toy. So, having achieved that, BJP has withdrawn from the scene. See, if the VVPAT has been actually implemented and Supreme Court is not interested in hearing, that's the issue. Our issue is different. Unless they are questioned properly, technical support, technical advice, everything is available. All that is needed is a discussion.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at the manuals and all, every procedure is there. But nothing is being complied with. That's the problem. That's the difference between Indian situation.
Bilal, from your point, I'll take. There's a lot of denial in Congress kind of opposition parties, and only when there are leaders like Rahul Gandhi speaking out about EVM, I think people are mobilizing and trusting that there is a electoral integrity issue, and then coming along. So there is a need for the top leadership to speak, which is the buck stops with Rahul Gandhi. I will make it very simple. So I'm quickly going to go to our friend Mehmood Pracha from Mission Save Constitution. He's advocate in Supreme Court. He has been fighting. He took the charge to even go fight the election and documented all these processes. Where are the gaps? How they are manipulating. So he's challenging this in the court. And this week, he, as a warrior, through his Mission Save Constitution, he went and protested in front of All India Congress Committee office. So he thinks Congress is the primary opposition who has the responsibility. So he has started a protest in front of Congress office. I want to give him mic, and then I want to hear about his protest and also his thoughts about why he is thinking Congress. Go ahead, Sam.
Can I just take a minute and welcome Mehmood?
Yes, sir.
Pracha, I didn't realize he was on the screen. I didn't see him earlier. So welcome.
I think he had some issues and he joined just.
Okay. So welcome, Mr. Pracha. He's another one of those courageous person who is in the front line, speaking his mind. And it is not about right or wrong. It's more about
create tension in the morning. That's also a problem.
Being brave enough to bring real issues on the table. Everybody is misunderstood. Everybody is misquoted. But there are very few who stick to their mission and keep on pushing. Pracha is one of those. So I like him. I admire him. I don't have to agree with him on everything. But I think we have a lot more in common than people realize. So I'm one of his fans. Thank you, Mr. Pracha.
Thank you, Sam. Devasahayam, you want to speak a word about Pracha's protest this week? So before we ask Pracha to share.
Yeah, he see what was done is just a beginning. It is I will say, a first salvo. It was not a big protest. It was a symbolic protest. But the question is the message. Now, we have not activated the civil society so far, let me tell you. Our civil society is sitting there impatiently, waiting for instructions from us. We have not activated the civil society, and if it is activated, it will be pan India. And the attack will start against the opposition parties. We said, so they have a much bigger stake. So what Pracha has done yesterday was only symbolic, just to send out a message. But if the message is not taken, we have no use for these people. Why should we? I mean, in what way are they different? So in a way, it's a good beginning. We have started it, and I heard what Pracha spoke also in the meeting. He was very candid, and this is the beginning. It's only it's the beginning. It's the first salvo. That's all I can say.
Pracha, I'm sure some of Rahul's own team may be watching this. Just go ahead. Why don't you share the? I think they might be tracking all your even protest. Why?
Before Pracha comes, one point I would like to make. See, Rahul Gandhi and anybody are not doing any mehrabani. See, what is the culture of Congress? Are they a political party? Just because राहुल गांधी बोल देगा हाँ ईवीएम खराब है, राहुल गांधी नहीं बोलेगा तो ईवीएम खराब नहीं है, अपना दिमाग नहीं है, अकल नहीं है. I mean, what kind of nonsense are these fellows? I mean, are they slaves? What kind of nonsense? I mean, they have not. That means, see, that's why I said the media is not reporting anything. You are right. People are not being properly informed. Media is completely one-sided. But if the opposition takes the issue, media will also talk. See, but we will get only very limited coverage. But when the opposition takes up in a big way, media will also talk and people will also come to know. The report documents are already available. You don't need any additional document. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Pracha. Please go ahead. Share us your. Hope you're doing okay.
First of all, no, I am actually running high fever, and pardon my voice, because yesterday also I was running high fever, but we could not I just had to go to the protest. And thank you very much, Mr. Sam and Devasahayam Saab, for the kind words. Before I hope my voice is clear.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Pracha, for taking time out despite you are not well. We want you to stay strong and continue this.
No, I'm
protest.
strong. I was I just conked off. I just woke up, so
Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry,
No,
because
your voice
I
is
don't
okay.
take
Perfectly
usually.
okay.
Yeah, all right. So I want to thank Sam and Devasayam Saab for their kind words for me, especially Sam Pitroda Saab. But I would like to add what Mr. Sam has said, that maybe we don't agree with each other always. So I would request him and senior persons like Devasayam to tell me where we don't disagree. I will try to make up to that. So long as people have their intentions in the right place, I am very flexible and I am willing to mold myself according to the voice of the senior people. If they have some disagreement, I am very willing to mend my ways also, or change my ways, so long as the main theme is in place. So picking up from Mr. Devashayam, what was VVPAT? What is VVPAT? VVPAT is voters verifiable paper audit trail. And that the only way for that, legal and otherwise, logical and technical, the best way for that is paper ballot. That aspect has also not been examined properly. Supreme Court never said that you use these kind of idiotic printer machines connected through the BU and the CU, both of them, and you introduce a SLU. All these things were never said. Anyway, technicalities I don't want to go. I agree totally with Mr. Devasayam that we have open shut case, not even a slightest of hole in our theory, and everybody knows this. Even Election Commission, Mr. Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, everybody knows this. So that's why they will never address or interact with us on that way. So now coming to the main point, we have an extremely difficult task. And I'm saying this with full sense of responsibility. And Devasahayam Sahib also said that we can create a ruckus, big ruckus. But the main problem which we have realized now is opposition parties visibly. But if you dig a little deeper, it is not the top leadership of opposition political parties. Obviously, Rahul Gandhi or Kharge ji would never have wished or wanted that there should not be a Congress president and, sorry, prime minister. I mean, why would they want that? Rahul Gandhi ji would never want that he should not become prime minister. That's what I will feel because he is into electoral politics. The problem lies with, as we are calling them, the sleeper cells. There are uh, sleeper cells or agents of RSS and BJP in almost all major political parties, like all other institutions. Like in BEL, there are openly and overtly directors who belong to BJP. Like election commission is nothing but all these three election commissioners. They are nothing but direct agents of Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. Similarly, what is the biggest obstacle in between, which could have been there in between the election commission, RSS and BJP on the one side and the other side? Not the Supreme Court, not anyone else. The biggest obstacle would be the opposition political parties, because clearly they are the biggest losers. Now, these sleeper cells have effectively snatched the PM's post from Rahul Gandhiji's hand. I am sure he would have never wanted this, he would have never planned this. So, this is pure, simple logic. As to put it once again in Devasahayam Sahab's word, the Congress has actually snatched, India Gathbandhan has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. I'm sure none of the leaders of the top leaders of any of the India Gathbandhan parties would have wanted that. So this is the ground reality. So we have realized our fight is not with the opposition parties. Our fight is with the sleeper cells in the Congress party. Why Congress party's name is coming again and again in the front is because that is the largest political party which BJP feels and sees as the biggest obstacle pan India. Once Congress is removed from the scene, and I'm not saying this with any, because I don't want anything from Congress or any other political party from, for that matter. The civil society does not want anything. All the people who are actually fighting the battle from the front, they have no actual desire for any post or any kind of lucrative return. So what we are, I am saying this again with full sense of responsibility, that the RSS and BJP wants to finish off, and sorry for my harsh words, Gandhi family. Somehow or the other, they feel, rightly or wrongly, I would not go into that detail, that they, as a family, are one force which can undo their meticulously planned designs, which they have done for almost 100 years now. 100 years are going to be completed. So the only way which has actually made RSS survive all these years of Congress rule and other rules is that they have planted their, and this is a most serious thing, their sleeper cells in and around Gandhi family as well as top families of major political parties. So therefore, we have identified two people, and I don't want their post. Why in God's name will I take their name? I have no axe to grind against these two people, Mr. Venugopal and Mr. Jairam Ramesh. I have absolutely no axe to grind against them. In fact, I have never met Mr. Venugopal in my life, although I was in charge of Kerala Youth Congress. So he was not a very prominent worker of Congress party in uh, late 1990s and early 2000s. But I know Jairam Ramesh Saab personally, but I never had any altercation with him under any circumstances. I always had good terms with him. Still, I'm saying because his deeds are such. And the latest example is the letter which he has written to the Election Commission, crying like a small baby for that helicopter episode. And the Election Commission dares to slap Congress party on his face every time. Pardon me for using this. I mean, who is Election Commission? What is Election Commission in front of Congress party? Let's let's be very candid and real about things. Congress party is the main opposition party of the country. What is Election Commission? Election Commission institutionally
Pracha, we lost you. Hello. I think Pracha has some internet issue. Let's see.
I will have to leave in another 10 minutes, Shyam.
Sure, sure. No, I think we'll complete. So once after Pracha is able to give that update. So I think Pracha is concerned about many of the Congress party's senior leaders' apathy. So I think let's try to hear his perspectives.
Just before, I have one question for Sir Devasahayam Sir.
Give me
Sir,
one. Give me 1 minute. Let's finish Mehmood Pracha. Is that okay?
I'm
yeah.
about to finish.
He was not.
I'm
Yeah,
about
yes.
to finish.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Election Commission is treating Congress party is in itself the biggest proof that there are people inside Congress who are making sure that Election Commission can do all these things to Congress party, the principal opposition party of the country, and get away with it. Why? Because they know there will be no mass public protest by the Congress. So our task is very difficult. We can really create a big ruckus. And please believe me, Mission Save Constitution is capable of creating a big ruckus in front of all the big political parties, and that will be national news in not only the our social media people, but also the so-called mainstream, which I call criminal media. But do we want to do that? Our task is to use Congress party, help Congress party, if I use the correct word, to save the constitution and the country. That's our task. So we have to do that without damaging Congress party or for that matter, any other opposition party. So our task is extremely difficult because of this reason. Otherwise, but we will have to keep increasing the pressure and the temperature because country is more important than Congress party. Country is more important than Kharge ji and Rahul Gandhi ji. So they have to come out in the open. They have to listen to the logic. They have to listen to their hearts and not the misadvice or the ill advice or the conspiracies, Machiavellian conspiracies, which they are, according to me, right now victims of. Paper ballot, you will see there will be dramatic change of results. Even in Maharashtra, I am sure if our civil society's pressure was not there, BJP would win 90% of Maharashtra seats. I can guarantee you that. Using the electronic voting machines. That's the hard reality of life. Adani wants Maharashtra to be in his pockets. Adani wants Jharkhand to be in his pockets. And through him, obviously Modi ji and Amit Shah ji want that. So that's the base. So we have to only discuss, that's my last point, and I request all of you to find out ways and guide us in what proportion and in what to what extent we should increase our pressure and the temperature of our protest against the opposition political parties, because that's the way which, and Devasahayam Saab and I have been discussing, in detail again and again and again. Devasahayam Saab is also drafting a letter which will be very soon given to the Congress party. I hope he can tell us when is it's going to be happening. Then you will see we will keep increasing the temperature and the pressure on not only the Congress party. This week we are going to go to all opposition political parties with the same request that you remove your sleeper cells and come out in the open against the EVM, and for ballot paper alone, nothing else is acceptable to us. Only paper ballot.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Pracha.
much.
That was a very great thing, and we want to congratulate you in the fight to save the Constitution, your mission save Constitution, and continue the fight for the country. As you correctly pointed out, the country is more important than any political parties. I want to Priyamada to ask the question before we go wrap up. Go ahead, Priyamada.
Thank you, sir. So my question is to both of you. So with the coming Maharashtra elections and Jharkhand elections, especially Maharashtra, which is important, what with the coming like with the recent scenario, how it is, because it's still the same situation like how it was. What advice would you give to tackle the EVM uh, EVM damage or EVM manipulations to the workers who are currently there? The cadres. So both of you, thank you.
Pracha, go ahead, Pracha.
Thank you. First thing is that I have already written letters to the election commission, putting in motion the check and balance which we can do to our best of ability. That you have to video record the proceedings of election from start to finish. That will be the most important thing. Then we can, if somebody asks us, then now that's the point. No, sleeper cells will not allow. I can send letters which, and I can teach the candidates who are contesting elections how we control the EVM menace in Rampur. And that will be a very effective way of doing it, because at every stage, election commission has to prove itself to you, especially at the time of SLU, especially at the time when the machines are handed over to polling parties. That's the time mischief, the biggest mischief happens. When the machines are handed over to polling parties, before that, at the time of commissioning, when SLUs are introduced, and when the machines are handed back, and during the polling process. These are the three most crucial times when most of the manipulation happens. So we can actually teach every candidate by publishing model letters to control them, and tell them how to control the misuse or the manipulation or minimize, because we cannot control the manipulation which happens offline and with wireless. We can at least control the manipulation by change of machines and introduction of the external elements in the shape of Trojan horse or viruses or pre-programmed chips that we can protect, and
You
also
see,
create a
no, no,
fear
see,
in the minds of
there's hardly,
the
no, no,
just one minute, just last sentence I mean.
you know,
And we can also create fear by writing these letters and putting our people in the minds of the returning officers and all the other officials involved in the election process by telling them repeatedly that these are all criminal offenses, and we will register FIRs against you if you don't do these things as per law, and that is this man.
see, the
That's
question
the
is
best.
these are all, there's no time. We have told about this. The problem is, if the opposition parties had interacted with us at the correct time, we would have given them a complete, thorough protocol, very simple protocol, but nobody bothered even to contact us. Nobody talked about. See, let me very normally I don't mention numbers. There is an young IAS officer of the Karnataka cadre, Sashikant Sentry, technical fellow, who resigned in 2019 with hardly about 10, 12 years service. Uh, the statement that he gave was, I cannot serve a fascist government. I mean, that's a very courageous statement from a young IAS officer who had another 25, 30 years to go. And he resigned. He was with us we are trying to work out some. He's from Tamil Nadu. I used to stay in, I live in Chennai at that time. He joined Congress. He has become a totally different character now. Became a totally different character. He is a technical man. He is I think IIT graduate. He has conducted elections. He knows. He says EVM is first class. चल रहा है, बड़े बहुत बढ़िया है. And do you think a fascist government in power will hold free and fair election and allow you to capture power? Can you ever imagine this happening? See, I just wanted to mention the Congress में मिलते ही जो है ना, he cut off the relationship completely. He became a தலைவர், leader. I became a subject. There is a mentality. I'm sorry, be very frank about it. I have dealt with people, top level people. But yeah, now the moment you join a party, you become a leader. नेता बन गया. हम सब जो है ना सेवादार बन गए. You won't even communicate with us. See, the one point, Premida, I'll tell you. Yeah, I think if you are going, they are going to be. Counting is the most critical exercise. What happens now is the present rules are completely shoddy. You rush through. See, you take months together, weeks together to conduct the election, but you want to finish up counting in a matter of few minutes, few hours. So rush through. What happens was, as soon as the elections are announced, daskat kar diya, after that you have to go to the High Court only. Nothing is going to happen, and you are in the government next 5 years. These election petitions are all pure waste of time and money. Okay, that's the reality. So they bully you through. Now with the returning officers sitting there, most of them are becoming pliable. They will bring observers who are senior to these returning officers, IAS officers. Some of them may be Pakka RSS characters. They will bully them through because they would have selected the constituencies. The point I am making is, counting, there is a certain protocol. Everyone knows about it. We don't have to do the training now. Everything is there. Now, the first, as it opens, they have to start with the paper ballot. Unless they count the paper ballot, don't allow them to touch the EVM machine. Don't allow them to touch it. Secondly, under the paper ballot, the election agents used to sit nearby. They could see every vote is being taken out and sorted out. Now they are put behind some kind of fence. No, they will be near that machine. They must look everything. They must watch the number. So before they start the counting, normally they will take 14 machines. 14 machines where they will start. That's the standard. 14 tables. So they must see to it that machine, number one, the number matches. Number two, the timing matches. There are protocols. I don't want to. And 17A, 17C matches. All this matching is done. Unless this matching is done and you are satisfied, these are the votes that are actually poured, not manufactured. You don't allow the counting to start. एक दफा काउंटिंग स्टार्ट हो गया तो खत्म हो जाता है. Don't allow them. Each round, perfect matching of all these as per the protocol. For instance, Congress, this fellow, Senthil, is the war room chairman. You should know. He has conducted elections. Problem is, these returning officers and BJP fellows, they will try to bulldoze. But make a scenery in such a way, you mobilize enough number of people and see to it that you are doing disturbance doesn't matter. You are doing it in the interest of free and fair election, unless everything matches as per the norms, as per the. Don't allow the counting to start or counting to proceed. Don't allow them to declare the result. That is where I think we can do at this point of time. बाकी जो कुछ करना है तो कर सकता है. We have already told them what needs to be done. About 17C, 17A, and all these are there. So before starting each round, exactly ensure that. Otherwise, don't allow and matching the numbers, everything, and don't allow the accounting to proceed.
Thank
That's the
you.
only thing that you can do at this point of time.
I think Bilal
But
has.
Devasahayam sir, I will add one thing, just one thing. There is no alternative or replacement for the backbone. In Rampur, I was the only candidate. We had not campaigned, not even a little. We were not a prominent candidate who was contesting elections. But the election commission officers, starting from the central observer, who was a secretary level government of India official, and RO and everyone, was on their toes, and my my people, who were only a handful in number, were allowed inside the counting arena, where Sapa candidate and his people were not even allowed. They had to piggyback us. They requested us to take our people also inside. So there is no replacement for this. It is an election. It is war. It is war.
I
You
agree. I
have to.
agree. See, if they are assertive, officers will comply.
Yes. So it is a
If you are
war.
a
You can't.
if you are a coward,
Otherwise,
they
they
won't,
will.
if you are a coward, they won't bother.
Yes.
If you are a
Then they
coward, they
will
won't
bulldoze
bother.
you. They will
They will
bulldoze
bulldoze
you,
you.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really feeling mood. Both of you are, even though you are saying that opposition is not so active, you are suggesting, giving all the methods and procedures which Congress or the primary opposition should follow to protect the constitution. I am really moved. Before closing, I want to go to Bilal. Go ahead, Bilal. Go quickly.
Yeah, I had some very practical things about suggestions about this. One thing about counting
I
is
would like to leave. Yes, I have to.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank you very
time.
much. Yeah.
So,
Thank
very short example of what this counting, how important it is. Even the most uneducated, if you compare how we get money from ATM machines, which is a very common experience, even the most uneducated person and even the most educated person, all of them not only trust the machine, but they also count it by their hand, all the money they get. Right. So this is the same thing with the election, that in South Korea, practically what happens is they first announce the election result using whatever the machines they have, and then they do a audit by counting all the votes by hand as well. So this double system of checking is required. This is the my logic for this counting of all the VVPATs. Anyways, as Devasahayam sir pointed out very well, all this expert knowledge, even the system suggested by Kapil Sibal, he came out with all the precautions one has to take. All this expert knowledge is not reaching a lot of people in Congress itself, even though this is coming from Congress people, very knowledgeable Congress peoples. Why? Because there is channel of communications are being blocked by certain people. Anyways, what I think is there is a need of the hour is that there should be another person from Congress in this chat, our election commission, this election related WhatsApp group we have, so that the information can reach the party, not just through one means, but two means as well. And for example, I met the ADR people, Jagdeep Choka sir, and the other person who was in the Navy in one of their events recently. And they are very, they have very solid points. They have done a lot of work. I understand that we cannot agree with all the things or their approach, but just like a freedom movement, all different kind of people with different mentalities have to be brought up on a single platform to fight the fascist regime, right? So, Sam sir, I have a very humble request. If you can talk to Jagdeep Choka sir, maybe, consider talking to him. Maybe he could join us in this chat group, or send his representative. I have their numbers as well. That would be very helpful, so that we can benefit from each other's knowledge. And the second thing is, like I said, someone from Congress should be here in this group. He doesn't need to be a very big guy. He could be someone a small guy as well. Third thing, maybe now everyone knows about Poonam Agarwal and her allegiance to the country, how much she's working hard in not just in this topic as well as electoral bond. Maybe Rahul Gandhi can meet Poonam Agarwal as well, just to hear her out. Sometimes talking to intelligent people helps you understand the matter even more deeply. And there are a lot of ways, but the information is not flowing in a very smooth manner to all the concerned people. I'm worried that all this knowledge between us concerned citizens should not remain within ourselves, a very small circle, but it should be reaching out to a lot of people. And for that to happen, people from different parties should be in this group as well. I think that's one thing that can be done. If people from the SP or DMK, I know there are some people. Shan, you have told me. I can see you nodding, but someone who speaks vocally, someone who is heard in his own party as well, and someone who knows the subject matter a bit more than just being attending in the name itself. So that's one of my suggestions, big suggestions.
Just to quickly respond, you Bilal, will continue work, but to make a small disclaimer, as a Bharat Ki Awaaz, we are a liberal community. We are Congress leaning. We are trying to support Congress, but I am running this along with many of you guys. I always call myself as founding volunteer because I know that a lot of people like you have been helping me run this, actually, Priyamata, many others. So to run different groups of interest, we are a liberal think tank of sorts. We don't even call ourselves as non-profit. We are trying to help propagate the Congress values, liberal thinking, democracy, etc. stuff without any censor. So I think that's what we are doing. So I think a lot of times when Sam speaks or I speak, even we don't even wear our Congress hat. That's the reason we are able to boldly express a lot of our thoughts. I today want to in fact call out the Mehmood Pracha, the sole warrior or one of the top warrior in this. He started his whole career in Congress. I was amazed when I heard when he started his Indian Youth Congress days in JNU. Why don't you tell quickly about how much you loved Congress or even still love Congress? But now you have moved on in your life and you have your own thing, but still, I want to quickly hear about that, Mehmood Pracha.
In one line, most of the leaders you know in Congress who have as much as sweat they have given for the Congress party. I had given more blood, to say this in one line. And now you can name any top leader and I will match his work and my work. That's my contribution, but that's not important. I was brought into Congress and that person is no more. Sam Saab's friend and our elder brother, Rajiv Gandhi. I was president of Campus Law Center. So my only soft corner for the Gandhi family remains only because of Rajiv Gandhi. Because a lot of bad things have happened to me by people, especially one Mr. Ahmed Patel. He almost finished me off in different ways, but I can't fight with Gandhi family. That should remain private in this group only, because my relationship with Rajiv ji is froze because he died. I can't fight with him. If he was alive, definitely I would fight Gandhi family, because a lot of bad things have happened to me because of one very powerful leader, which is Ahmed Patel. But that being so, I will always have affection for Gandhi family because Rajiv ji gave me my first break. And I've done enough. It will take many, many hours for me to say what little I've done. But most of the people you see holding major posts, a lot of people have learned from me. Everything which they display, but they still fall back to me whenever they are in great difficulty. I can say this. Whenever they will have any actual problem, they consult me only, but I will not divulge their name because that will be betraying their trust.
Bilal, to answer you in short, there are a lot of great Congresses inside the party, outside the party, even by heart, Mehmood Pracha feels himself as Congressy because that's where he started, working along with Rajiv Gandhi's. So maybe I think that's where we want Congress to be more vocal. We feel that the buck stops with Rahul Gandhi. So if in case he can mobilize the entire country to save the electoral integrity, supporting this movement of banning EVM, bringing back ballot, or at least at the worst case, at least making sure that 100% VVPAT is counted by doing protests of sorts. I think that can help. Sam, any closing thoughts?
Shan, sorry, I just want to, because there is one speaker who is like waiting since an hour now. So can you unmute and ask your question, pro tem?
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Pro tem, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
As we speak, we have got 300 viewers staying for good 1 hour. Yeah.
I can't hear him actually.
Okay, that is
No,
fine,
sorry.
Priyamata.
Yeah.
So ask him to submit the question through chat, and then we will try to get the response from Sam.
Okay, yeah.
Sam. Sam, you are on mute. Sam, you are on mute.
Thank you, everybody. We had a very good conversation. Thanks, Mr. Pracha, Bilal, Shan, and Priyamvada. As always, we learn a lot from our speakers. And I hope today we could give a little more clarity to people on this whole election process and the fact that it is not about EVM machine. It's about the whole manipulation. So thank you, Mr. Pracha, for what you do. Thanks, Devasahayam. And see you next week, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thank you, Pracha.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Bilal.